Joseph had been brought to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had brought him there. Then the Lord was with Joseph, and he prospered and remained in the house of his Egyptian master. His master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made everything he did prosper in his hands. So Joseph found favor in his sight and became his personal servant. Indeed, he appointed him as a steward and entrusted all his possessions to him. From the time he made him steward and put him in charge of all his possessions, the Lord blessed the house of the Egyptian for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had, both in the house and in the field. So he left all that he had in Joseph's hands and concerned himself with nothing except the food he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. After these things, his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph and said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Behold, my master does not concern himself with anything in this house, and he has entrusted all that he is into my hand. He himself is not greater in this house than I am, and he has not withheld anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he did not listen to her, to lie with her or be with her. One day, however, he went into the house to do his work, and none of the household servants were inside. She caught him by his garment and said, "Lie with me." But he left his garment in her hand, fled, and ran outside. When she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had fled outside, she called her household servants and said to them, "See, he has brought a Hebrew among us to mock us. He came to me to lie with me, but I cried out in a loud voice. And when he heard that I raised my voice and cried out, he left his garment beside me, fled, and went outside. She kept his garment beside her until his master came home. Then she told him the same story. The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came to me to mock me. But when I raised my voice and cried out, he left his garment beside me and fled outside. When his master heard the words of his wife, saying, 'This is what your servant did to me,' he became enraged. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, where the king's prisoners were confined. So the prison warden put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners who were in the prison, and whatever was to be done there, he was the one who did it. The prison warden did not concern himself with anything under Joseph's charge, because the Lord was with him, and whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper.